I am starting the live stream now. Well, hello. My name is Joshua Branson. I work as a web developer. This is the first of maybe many Herd Hangouts. So far, we have 2 people in the room, including myself. So great turnout, first meeting. We are a little bit early. Maybe some other people will show up at some point. Kato was wondering if I can hear her. Nope, I do not hear you. Right. Let me just double check that sound is working for me. I'm gonna go play a video and see if I hear sound. I'm sure it's working, but thinking about it.
Had some issues and we're
Yep.
couldn't do it in time. Linus.
Cool. Anyway, so it looks like at the moment I am the only one here. I'm going to try to share with y'all information about the herd. Let's see here. Is there my desktop? Share YouTube video, phone number, raise lower your hand, close chat, share YouTube video, make a phone call, settings, everyone stays muted, nope, everyone starts hidden, nope, follows me. I want English as the settings. Huh. We have 3 participants now. Chat, where's the chat? Where's the chat button? Go back. Have Kato. Oh, it's we have 3 participants, but it's the same person. But hey, at least we're growing exponentially. You see me? Awesome. But you don't hear me. Well, that's kind of annoying. Let me check the YouTube stream and maybe it can hear me. We're having some technical difficulties here. Okay, I'm just gonna try to click on the YouTube live stream and see if this works. I bet it is working. It's loading. Difficulties. Damn. Okay, I'm just gonna try to click on the YouTube. All right. So YouTube live stream is working. So I hear sound on the YouTube live stream. That's good. Anyway, sorry for the technical permission denied. Failed to install desktop sharing extension. Oh, that's just annoying. So it looks like I can't really share my screen. So this is going to be a video that is a lot of me talking. But hey, I'm entertaining. It might work. Let's see here. So hello and welcome again. You are currently watching the GNU Herd live stream. What is the GNU Herd? Well, if you point your browser to www.gnu.org/software/herd/index.html, you can check out the, oh, maybe I should point this guy to the live stream. Index.html. You can check out, what was I saying? Hang on, just a second. That's the YouTube live stream. Anyway, URL, www.gnu.org/software/herd /index.html, you can get an idea what the herd is. So the herd is quite possibly one of the best pieces of software ever written. It's very impressive. One problem with the herd, though, is it's getting quite large. We're looking at 13 million lines of code for the GNU herd, which is very unmanageable, very unwieldy. It's becoming quite difficult for users to actually, and developers to actually change the kernel. And this is all hearsay. I am not a developer of the Linux kernel. I am not a developer for the herd. I like both projects. According to some of the herd developers, a lot of development on the Linux kernel can be slowed down because the kernel needs to be stable. If you introduce a lot of new features in a huge piece of software like that, sometimes it's hard to make sure you don't break stability. So here is what is cool about the Linux kernel. It runs just about everywhere. The problem with it is that the Linux kernel sounds good. So the Linux kernel is very monolithic. All of the pieces can't necessarily be easily pulled apart, which is kind of a problem. It makes it very difficult to make modifications to the Linux kernel. Now, there are ways to load in, I think modules, yeah, like modules. You can load in sort of kernel modules with the command mod probe. So your graphics driver can be loaded into the kernel, it can be unloaded. All sorts of drivers can be plugged into the kernel, which is good. It's a step in the right direction. The herd goes a whole lot further in that it tries to separate the kernel even further. Ideally, let me explain kind of what the herd is in terms of a microkernel. So the herd is built up top, the mock microkernel. So a microkernel might be 50,000 lines of code or less in an ideal world. And compare that to the Linux kernel of 13 million lines of code, that's incredibly impressive. So the herd is built on top of a very small kernel. I think mock ideally should only implement input and output, scheduling, managing memory, and maybe a couple other things. Everything else, like your file system, is going to run in user space. Your drivers are going to run in user space. What makes that so awesome is that if a driver crashes, it doesn't bring the whole kernel down. If a file system crashes, it doesn't bring the whole kernel down. You can just restart those services. It also makes it possible to do some things that are a lot more difficult to do in a Linux world. For example, the herd, in theory, and there are some examples of this, in theory, the herd has the ability to be written in a language other than C. So C is a really low-level programming language, but there are some programs on the herd that are kind of in the kernel, in the herd, but they can be written in Python, or they could be written in Go, they could be written in Adata, and all sorts of programming languages. At the moment, some of those dreams haven't been realized. There isn't a complete implementation of Python that can run services in the herd. I think I'll just go ahead and read some more documentation from the website. Let's see here. So the herd is a set of servers that tries to implement Unix, and it builds it on top of mock. which is quite impressive. It does this mainly by using glibc, which is the herd C library. So a program that is designed to run on Linux can be rather easily ported to the herd. As a matter of fact, the Debian GNU herd, I think something like 80% of the software that runs in Debian runs on the herd as well now, just because glibc is kind of smart to realize that this is the herd, it's not Linux, and the herd sort of does some magic, and all the POSIX, yeah, it just works. What else happens here? I'm just looking for more information. I have a document that I've tried to write, try to give some example of what the herd is. It's not an easy way to share this. I guess I could do this. Let's see here. So, do you see the URL there? I don't know if you can see that, but it is github.com/jbranso/cheat sheets. And then if you find the herd.org document there, so it's a modular-based operating system. The herd is more secure than a traditional Unix kernel. A traditional Unix kernel has certain permissions to read, write, and run. So, for example, when I run Firefox, it runs as me. So Firefox could have access to my GPG keys. Why does Firefox need access to those keys? Why does Firefox need access to some of the programs I have in documents? I don't think it should have access to read any of those necessarily, unless I explicitly tell it to. So that's kind of cool since the herd programs don't necessarily run with the permissions of the user that runs them. It can be much more secure. Linux has some abilities to try to minimize those risks. They can put things inside containers, which is quite cool. Let's see here. While there are numerous technological advancements to the herd, many of them haven't been implemented yet. The herd suffers from a lack of developers to extend it. There are some developers, but they do it in their spare time. They're not funded to do it, so development pace can be a little slow. And I'm not trying to bash the herd of developers. They're very incredibly smart, incredibly intelligent people. I believe at least 2 of them are professors or were professors or work for like really strong software companies. Another cool thing about the herd is a user can modify a running service. For example, there is the extension 2 file system service. Since that's running as a user space process, I can tell applications to, instead of using that server, to use a different server. So I could extend the extension 2 file system server, and it wouldn't hurt anyone else, which is pretty awesome. What else? Actually, before we go on, let me try to. Never mind. What else can I say here? One issue that I've had is that. Actually, sorry, I am gonna try to tell this person real quick. There's one person that's trying to connect here and is having issues. Kito, try to connect to me via your Jitsi client. My SIP is. Cool. Maybe this person can connect to my Jitsi client, which would be kind of cool. It'd be nice to actually have someone to talk to during this conference call. So one issue let's see here, how to use the herd. That's probably something you should really know at this point. You're probably going to want to run the herd inside a virtual machine. It's rather difficult to get the herd to run on real hardware. There are people that do it. I'm pretty sure a couple of the developers do run the herd on real hardware. Something about ACHI, one of those, has a hard time running. You have to put something in compatibility mode, and it's tough. So a lot of the developers actually run the herd inside a virtual machine, which is what I do. It is quite cool. So you're definitely going to want to install it in a virtual machine. You definitely want to use QEMU. That is one of the better virtual machines for the herd. I really wish I could share my screen. That is very frustrating. I guess I'm not allowed to install this desktop extension. I wonder if I tried it in Chrome if it would work. That's fine. Fudge. No, I'm still live streaming? Okay, I guess I'm still live streaming. Very cool. That worked out. Okay. Wrong one. Okay. I'm going to try to load this URL inside Chrome and see if that works a little better. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Thinking about it. Wow. Okay. That was pretty bad. Sorry about that. This should work better, maybe. Can I share screen? Add extension? The application window. I can't do that. I guess I'm going to show the entire screen. Whatever. Share. Okay, you are now seeing my screen. Let's go and show you where some of these things are. Okay. The place to go to. All right, so if you want to get an idea of the herd, you can check out things right here. How awesome is that? You can get an idea what the herd is, the mission of the herd. You can go into documentation, advantages, challenges. This site there's so much information on this site. It is kind of insane. Am I still sharing? I'm pretty sure yeah, I'm still sharing. Cool. Now my little documentation for the herd. Let's see here. File not found. J. Branso. Gigi's blog. Master. Herd.org. Why did that not work? Let's try this. Okay, cheat sheets. Repos. Cheat sheets. Herd. H. There it is. Boom. It's like someone. Kato, I really appreciate your valiant effort. A new, very cool person. Hello? Did that work? Okay. Anyway, here is my little cheat sheet for the herd. Yeah, it's a little out of date. I haven't been able to push some of the updates, which is quite frustrating. Anyway, continuing on with my fun talk. Let's see here. Oh gosh. I'm compiling nightly version. Okay. We still have, Kato is trying to connect here and she's having some difficulties. So we still have about 40 minutes left. Maybe you can connect in time. I guess I can tell you how I try to start. No, I guess there's no reason to show you my screen anymore. Okay, you should see me again now. Cool. Full disclosure, this browser is not working for me very well. I've tried connecting. I'm actually connected to this meetup on my laptop, and for some reason, I don't even see myself. Let me try reloading. Thinking about it. This is so, yeah. So for whatever reason, this Hangout is not working on my laptop computer, which is quite annoying because my laptop computer has the ability to actually run the herd. The desktop machine that you're seeing me through right now, I don't have the herd installed on a virtual machine, so I can't show you the screen to show you how I would actually normally get connected. I could potentially, someone else connect? I think it's just Kato again. Yeah, this Kato person is really trying to connect, which is quite frustrating for them. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and try to describe how, oh, actually, yeah, I will go ahead and show you my screen again. Okay. Sweet, you should see my entire screen. Let's full screen this puppy. All right, so if you're on the herd, actually, so if you want to click to the herd page, click on, I think it's contributing. Click on this page, instant development environment. All right, this is the direction you want to follow if you want to get started in development, to develop for the herd. So it's pretty straightforward. You want to install this QEMU package. For me, it was just apt-get, no, pacman-s QEMU. Pretty sure. I used Parabola because that's amazing. Perhaps I spelled that so wrong. Really? I'm sorry, people. This is just Parabola distro. There we go. So I use this distribution, QEMU. Yeah. So yeah, for me, the package is just QEMU for whatever reason. So I guess maybe in Debian it's QEMU-QVM. Anyway, so you get that package installed. Then you do a simple wget. You download this thing, unpack it, and then you run a command basically start it. Since I use a Dvorak keyboard layout, I have this dash curses option in the command. You kind of have to have that if you want to use a different keyboard layout. The herd does support like the French layout or the German layout. They don't support variants, I believe. So I don't believe they support the Dvorak layout just yet. But if you want to use Dvorak, you can just use curses. Cool. What else? This, for me, again, was not the command that I used. Let me double check. What is the command that I use? The command I use is QEMU-system-i386. For whatever reason, that's the command on my machine. Maybe this is the command on Debian machines. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so you do all that. Then you, when this is running, at some point you'll see welcome to the herd. Actually, I'll just run it right now. So welcome to the herd. Oh, hang on. I got to boot the machine and it'll take about, I don't know, a couple of minutes. Maybe I can see here, show my screen again. Okay. Well, you can see it kind of booting there. I think my file system is a little messed up. I tried to boot a subherd and I didn't properly shut it down. Yeah, let's see. It's checking the root file system. Cool. It's doing a check force. It's probably going to say, we found some issues. We're going to check them, and then we're going to restart. So give that a couple seconds. Anyway, you're going to log in as root. So just type in root. It might prompt you for a password, or it might not. It's been a while since I've actually installed this thing. Once you're logged in, you want to set up a password. You do that with the gpassword command, I believe. GPASS. And what is that? GPASSWD. Okay, actually, I need to say gpasswd root, I think. And then you can set a password for root next time. And then I think you do run something like add user to add a new user. And yeah, and then you're kind of golden. And you can sort of restart, log out as your user, and kind of get started. One thing I would recommend, once you clone the herd, I guess I might be able to clone it and show you that file. I don't know. This is becoming a very one man kind of a show. Let me see here. Navigating. Oh, so I connected yet. Am I even gonna be able to connect this? Yeah, I should be able to. So the real question is, how do I get started messing with the herd? It's gonna be a while to kind of understand it. I have been very interested in the herd in a long time, and I'm still nowhere near being able to help. So what you want to do, I am reading from the navigating page. This is in the herd sources. It is located at, I want you the top directory of the herd. You cd into the dot directory, and the file you want is called the navigating file. So first, you must understand mock interprocess communication and MIG. That's the mock interface generator. So you need to figure out how mock manages memory. You don't want to, because you don't want to write servers that make leaks. So I can actually show you my face again. My beautiful face. there is a document called the Mock Servers Writers Guide. Let's see if we can find that real quick. Mock documentation, mock official, mock IC, fortifying, Mock Servers Writers Guide. Meet mock's concepts. I don't think this is it. Mock Servers Writers Guide. Mock Servers Writers Guide. This thing right here is what you want. Also, you really probably want to read all of these. They are in depth. Just to give you an idea. Let's see here. The Mock Servers Writers Guide. Did it? Oh, what the heck? I don't want to. Really? Can I not like? Site can't be reached. That ain't cool, bruh. I guess I'm just gonna have to save it to show you how in depth this thing is. Okay. .ps save. Okay. Oh, what did it do? It's opening it. Okay, cool. I guess now I have to show you my screen to get you an idea of what it looks like. So show my screen. Okay. So here, oh yeah, you get an idea of how big this thing is. It's really in depth. This is a great way to fall asleep at night. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of information. One thing that's wrong. Mock does no longer uses C threads. It now uses POSIX threads, so P threads. Some of this information might be a little outdated, but I'm not an expert on that. I imagine a lot of it still is. I think the memory management is inside Mock. I don't think it's outside of it. I couldn't tell you. So yeah, you want to read this sucker, which is huge. What else do you want to do? This Cato is still trying to connect. You can do it. Okay, so after you read the Mock Servers Writers Guide, and probably a lot of this information, you really want to get a good idea of how to read all this. Here's an interprocess communication example. Huh, that's kind of cool. Then you need to understand that the herd is built out of a ton of libraries. So one of the libraries is libports. So you want to read those specifications. You can find that in libports/port.h. Definitely check that out. Then you want to start getting a look at the herd interfaces. You want to check out the proc server. You want to take a look at how an auth transaction works. So I mentioned earlier, I didn't say it explicitly, but I said that the herd is kind of a capability-based system. In truth, the herd is not a capability-based system. It's very close to it. But I think it's like a access control process-based system. I don't know. It's close, but it's not quite there. And the process that manages capabilities for other processes is called auth, the auth server. So you, I guess, need to understand how that works. Then if you want to understand file systems, they can be apparently a little complex too. Those are in herd input-output definitions, herd file system definitions. These interfaces are implemented by 3 different libraries: tribfs, diskfs, and netfs. Tribss implements single node file systems. They don't have any directories. So one example of a herd hang on, Cato is asking for some help here on how to connect. I can't help you connect to me, unfortunately. Do you have an SIP address by chance? Do some Googling. Should tell you how to connect. Okay. So yeah, this is actually my personal little project that is nowhere near to being done, but my personal project is I want to create a Caesar. Oh my gosh, Cato is really trying. And Google search. You can get a free SIP account from SIP to SIP. Here, SIP to SIP. Yep. Yeah, I want to implement a Caesar cipher for like a single file, which really has no value whatsoever. But hey, it's kind of cool. I should, definitely check it out. So that's nifty. What else? Let's see here. Then there's disk-fs. Disk-fs is used for disk-based file systems. So this is like your extension 2 file system server. Unfortunately, the herd does not support extension 3 or extension 4 file systems, which is a little unfortunate. There were some patches lying around. I think for someone's thesis, they wrote an extension 3 file system server. I guess it wasn't polished enough because it hasn't been committed, but the patches are still around there on the internet somewhere. Yeah, I think it would be kind of cool when the herd starts supporting newer file systems. The problems with extension 2FS, I don't think it supports encryption. It might, for all I know. I know it doesn't support journaling, so that's kind of an issue. But even if you crash the herd, almost there are times when I accidentally close my virtual machine running the herd, and when I boot up again, the herd is smart enough to realize he did something wrong. There's some file system corruption, and we'll fix it automatically. So, yeah. Let's see here. NetFS is used for file system operations that are going over a network, but not necessarily over like an internet connection. I'm not sure what other examples of what it would be used for if not for an internet connection. But I think one example of that is the FTPFS. So on the herd, it's possible to mount a remote FTP directory, which is pretty darn awesome. And then you can take a look at those files and mess with them. Very cool. What else is there? Then it says on this document, you want to examine some translators and the translation directory. See some more examples. You want to be familiar with the herd and mock calls provided in the GNU C library, which I have yet to be able to clone. I don't know why, but every time I try to clone the herd C library, it doesn't work. It's the same. It's like a fork of glibc. Ideally, at some point, the herd glibc and upstream glibc can be merged. I believe to some degree they are, but it just needs more work. Let's see here. Yeah. So I really think the herd can be a pretty awesome project, and you should definitely check it out. Some more videos that you could watch to maybe get you an idea of the herd. Let's see here, some on YouTube. Do not show me notifications; those are always dumb. The herd videos. Herd. Here we go. So there's this video. Yeah, there's all sorts of. Oh, I haven't actually seen this one before. Oh, it was a long time ago, looks like. Oh, not even in English, bummer. So yeah, there are a couple of videos talking about the herd, which is kind of interesting. Let's see, I can probably mention the status. Let's see here, herd status. There we go. This page is quite cool. Looks like a lot of programs run on it. POSIX is specified. Let's see, there's experimental support for SATA devices, which that is kind of cool. Oh, okay, another major issue with the herd. It doesn't have a ton of device drivers. So let's see here, there's only about half of the network device drivers from Linux 2.6. I don't even know. Let's see here, what is the latest version of Linux? Let's find out. It's much later than 2.6. I think it's like 4 now. You gotta be kidding me right now. There we go. Just a moment. Really? Page 1. I think it's like version 4. Well, we'll say it's version 4 because that sounds about right. 4.16. I'm pretty sure it's not 4.5. Linux Libre 4.10. So yeah, the herd version is using some drivers from a rather old version. So a lot of your network drivers probably won't work. So on experimental support for SATA devices, I guess that's why some of the modern hardware doesn't work. What else? You don't have, there is initial support for sound, but it only works for very specific things. I'm not even sure how to get sound working. A lot of USB stuff isn't working, unfortunately. But I mean, on the plus side, you can run X. You can run some nice little applications. Here's some more people telling, hey, the herd works. Another problem with it, let's see here, there's challenges or something. Challenges. That's not cool. Maybe they have open issues page. What? Yeah, there's lots. These are all the open issues. They're not sure necessarily how to fix some of these. I also don't necessarily know that there's a lot of effort going into keeping the site up to date. Don't get me wrong, there are people working tirelessly keeping the site up to date, but they probably just need more people to help out with it. One of the issues with the herd, at least in the past, was what is going to be the init system. So they were trying to figure that out, and one possibility was using Upstart, which is something that that Ubuntu created. Upstart has been abandoned in favor of systemd, and I believe, yeah, there's still an Upstart page on this open issues, which is quite sad because it's, as far as I know, it's not really being maintained. We could probably get rid of it. So there's a couple of things like that that aren't so great. But what else? Another problem with the herd, they could have some, they really ought to do some more input-output performance. So I think one of those happens to be read ahead. Yeah, the one most obvious reason for the herd feeling slow is low input-output performance. In particular, very slow hard disk access. So one of the ways to make this better would be to have a read ahead, which I guess something ahead before it's needed, and save that information in RAM. You could schedule reads, you could schedule writes. I guess there's a couple of things that could be done that would make the herd faster, which is kind of cool. What else? What are some other major issues? I don't believe it has multiple. Oh gosh, herd.org. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm currently making a little. Hey, what is that? Hello. Okay, this Kate person just sent me a message. Not sure. What is your SIP? Call? Oh, it's ringing. Okay, I'm calling this person right now. Securely connected or insecurely connected. This is so weird. Okay. I am connecting to you now. It says I'm connected. Share desktop. Share full screen. Okay. What? Like, cool. There we go. Do you see anything, person? Yeah, sorry for the complete destruction of this live stream. This is not working very well. I saw you trying to connect to me. I clicked the phone icon. It says I'm connected. Add. Byte. Oh, you're on hold. Press out of order. Call failed. Video call. Okay, this Cato person has a is trying to connect to me on Jitsi. We're having a tough time here. Transfer the call. Leave call. Connected. Insecurely connected, but connected nonetheless. Let's hang up. Toggle video. Call failed. Calling you again. Yeah, well, I guess while I'm trying to get this person to connect again, somehow still does not seem to be working. It says we're connected, but I don't see anyone. Huh. Says we're connected. I wonder why that's not. Let's just do toggle record, transfer the call, show desktop, toggle video. Call it. This is so weird. Calling again. Don't press the toggle video button. Yeah. I'm starting to think that this Jitsi thing is like not working out at all, unfortunately. Going back to my monologue, thank you all for showing up. It's been a pleasure. Okay, going back to the monologue. Other cool things that could potentially be done. Actually, the Google code page, Google Summer of Code, possible product ideas. Whoa, all these ideas are great. It could potentially be done. So there's an idea to use the GNU package manager. I think this one's been done. Don't need to worry about that one. Need a new driver framework, probably using Rump. I think this one's done as well. This needs more work. There has been some bindings to Perl and Python and Java. None of them are complete, but they need more work. Let's see here. There's some locking issues. Over the years, there have just been more and more lock issues or ways to provide locks to files. And the herd needs more work on that. GDB has some newer features that doesn't work on the herd. This one, the herdish TCP IP stack. TCP IP is in my naive understanding, is basically how computers can communicate to each other over a network in a very low-level fashion. But there is a student working on this for this summer, which is quite cool. He's using an existing user space TCP/IP implementation, and maybe the herd will have better internet connection when the summer's done, which would be quite cool. We have some initial sound support, but it still needs some more work, unfortunately. Let's see here. Disk, input, output, performance tuning. Yeah, I mentioned this one already. This one probably needs a lot of work. Mach is one of the first generation of microkernels. And unfortunately, it's showing a bit of its age. One issue with Mach is that it doesn't let you throw or share structured data between processes very easily. If you had a complex data structure and wanted to pass that in between a process, Mach can't help you do that, unfortunately. It's great at passing strings between processes, but anything else is kind of hard to do. I tried using this XMLFS. Maybe I was using the wrong one. Maybe my herd virtual machine's not working very well. I personally, I only spent like an hour or so trying to get this to work, and I personally couldn't get it to work. I probably spent like 5-10 minutes. I found the existing implementation, found the existing XML document, example document, and it didn't quite work for me. But here's the herd extra. Here's where you would find that. Why is procfs considered to be extras? Also, run is also on the extras. Why is that not? I think this one's in the herd document, in like provide with the herd. I guess there's a journaled file system translator, read-only support. JFS, the herd supports it, or Linux supports it. It's a journaled file system. Some people use it. I know it has some advantages, but I don't know if JFS is actively developed anymore. So yeah. Oh, you can help sort people's mails. That's kind of cool. Hey, this is the current maintainer for Geeks SD. That is really darn cool. Works fine, read only. Interesting. Let's see here. Yeah. Valgrind could probably really be ported to the herd, ought to be ported to the herd. I guess it's just a way of mapping or keeping track of the herd's memory. And at the moment, we don't necessarily have a way to do that very easily. So it's kind of hard to figure out where the herd leaks memory. I think for a while, is it the exec server? Maybe it was off, either exec or off. One of those was leaking memory each time a new process started. I think Bronner recently fixed that issue, which he's an amazing developer. He's working on lots of stuff. He's actually trying to write a newer version of Mach that the herd won't be able to run on top of it without modification. But he's probably one of the better herd developers. He's been here a long time. We need to do some sort of automated testing framework. So if we fix a bug, we need to have a new test that goes in the framework. Then we can see if the herd is actually reintroducing the same bug over and over again, which that wouldn't be fun. Get better ideas of why the herd is not so fast, what things we can optimize. We need to fix libdiskfs locking issues. So I guess some of the main issues that the herd would crash, which for me, I haven't really seen it crash very often. It's getting quite good these days. But if it does crash, it happens in libdiskfs, I guess. So that's something that needs to be fixed as well. The herd also doesn't support more than one core. I don't think. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Multi-threaded, so they should be able to benefit that. Hasn't been done because of the following. Has the principal infrastructure. Hasn't been enhanced to support nowadays SMP standards like ACPI. Also, GNU Mach's Linux device driver code is not SMP safe. So I guess in the Xen port of GNU Mach, it doesn't use that. So they could potentially try to get SMP working on the Xen port first. At the moment, GNU Herd only uses one logical processor, one core, one thread. Anyway, yeah, once that issue is solved, there's other issues. Project ID, eh? Oh, Browner, I guess at some point, this is the guy I was telling you about, who's maintaining or trying to rewrite Mach in a different way. He wanted to have SMP to be the next Google summer project. I think at some point, yeah, he said too big, just won't really work. Cool. We're moving along. I know you people are having fun, but unfortunately, we're about to run out of time. RPC trace is a way to debug a user space process. It lets you run a herd server, and then you can try to sort of piggyback on RPC trace and figure out what exactly is happening. Great way to debug, apparently. I've never used it because I'm a terrible developer. Subherds are kind of cool. I don't think this is an open issue anymore. I don't think, or maybe it is to some degree. It is. So a subherd, the idea behind it, you have two instances of the herd running on the same GNU Mach, which is pretty awesome. Here's some information about how you can do it. I think I tried it a while ago, and it kind of almost worked, but not really. So there's that. What else here? Oh, there's a HTTPFS server, which is kind of cool. I think it still has some issues, but cool nonetheless. libguestfs, what is this? Oh, it's something else. It's a way to access virtual machine images, I guess. So maybe their idea is we can write translators, like a file system translator based out of that. I don't think I've explained a translator, have I? Oh, I guess I'll make that my little closing comment. Alrighty then, stop sharing. Let's see here, let's find translator documentation. The herd translator. So read from my own written documentation. Somewhere, maybe not. What's going on here? So our Emacs is getting, whoa, what, stop it. Okay. Translator. All right. So the technical definition, the translator is simply a normal program acting as an object server participating in the herd's distributed virtual file system. So yeah, quite involved definition there. So a translator is a user space process that is part of the herd, I guess, is the basic idea. So when you write something using libdiskfs, or when you write something using tribfs, you are writing a translator for the herd. You are extending the herd. So yeah, I don't know. I hope this was helpful to you guys, whoever is listening. Sorry it didn't quite work out for some of these people who were trying to jump in and listen or communicate. Anyway, at some point I will be posting the video to this online. You can watch it again whenever you feel like it. But I think that kind of closes out the meeting. So have a good day, y'all. Let's see here. How do I stop live stream? Stop live.